So here's quite the story about a husband and father who recently served his wife divorce papers on Christmas Day. Christmas Day, or at least it seems like a Christmas Day, after she had cheated on him 12 years earlier with a year-long affair with his brother. And at that time, he didn't divorce her because after months of her and the family and the parents begging and pleading that he don't divorce her because of the kids, because he has small kids at the time, he decided to stay with her, which was nuts. And now the kids are adults and out of the house, and on Christmas Day, here you go, we're done. And he is handling it like a boss. He should have ended with her a long time ago, but he's doing it like a boss. And he's done with everyone. The wife, the brother, his parents, everyone that gave him a hard time and chose her over him, all that type of thing. And it's quite an entertaining story here. Title, and this is from The Sun. My parents, 46 and 48, are divorcing. How do I help my dad recover from his trauma? He says, my mom, a 46-year-old, cheated on my dad nearly 12 years ago. It had been a year-long affair, I think, with dad's younger brother. So it wasn't like a one-time sleeping together thing and she broke down in tears and cried about it. A full year. And not just with a random dude, a coworker, his younger brother. Talk about scumbags. Back then, my sister, who's 20 years old right now, and I had no clue about all this. I remember them fighting and crying a lot when I was 10 years old, but neither dad or mom ever said anything to us. It turns out my mom begged and pleaded for a second chance and to stay for our sake. My uncle had begged dad for forgiveness and promised to always stay away from his family but not tell anyone. Dad did tell our grandparents, but once again, they all begged him to stay for our sake and to give my mom a second chance. Well, smacked all of them. No. That just makes things miserable because the guy's going to be miserable for the next 12 years until the kids are legal adults or old enough. And the kids are going to grow up in a house where mom and dad don't love each other, and it's just a bad situation. You part ways. Months of begging finally wore my dad down. He agreed to stay for the kids. Smack the dad. Bad idea, Dad. He says he made it clear he was staying just for me and my sister's sake. Mom was grateful and began trying to repair the marriage. Again, cheating for a full year with a younger brother. Yeah, right. Like she's going to really be that honest and great and trustworthy going forward. Throughout all this, my dad and mom never told us anything and always reassured us that everything was okay and we were their priority. Mom and dad are still fantastic parents. They made it 22 years this December. Both my sister and I were at home for the holidays and helped my mom plan a surprise for my dad. Well, he's planning a surprise for your mom. However, on the date, Dad took Mom upstairs, and soon we heard her crying, loudly, like gut-wrenching sobs, as we ran up. I saw Dad sitting on bed, watching Mom cry hysterically, and he had divorce papers in his hands. What's the thing from Home Alone? Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. You know what I'm talking about? Home Alone? When our grandparents, uncles, and aunts questioned him, he just looked at them and asked them, why are you all surprised? Didn't I say I would stay only for the kids? Man, this guy is harsh. He's been planning this forever. This made my mom cry hard, and my sister and I questioned him. He revealed everything. This is when I learned why my Uncle Matt stopped visiting us. My sister and I were crying, but Dad just hugged us and said that he had done everything in his power to give us a happy childhood. Now he just wanted to start his own life. He doesn't want to keep pretending for everyone's sake anymore. Good for your dad. Now, your dad should have ended it with her a long time ago, and he made a mistake there, but you know, in his mind, okay, fine. I love the kids and I want to disrupt their childhood because these guys obviously didn't know. Meanwhile, his parents and the brother, they all took the side of the wife, not his. I could feel his tiredness and the exhaustion in his voice. Mom begged him not to do this, to not leave her, and that she would rather die than not be his wife anymore. Okay, drama queen. Dad didn't even look at her. He simply said, don't worry, I called Matt. He'll be glad to comfort you, and he left. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Since then, Mom has been a mess. She refused to sign the papers and has been crying and calling Dad, who never picks up her calls. Why should he? You want to talk to me? Have your attorney talk to my attorney. We are done. My sister left to stay at a friend's house, stating that she doesn't want to be in the same house as Mom anymore. My grandparents are old and devastated. Dad hasn't been taking their calls either. He told them that he knew they had been in contact with my Uncle Matt the whole time, that he never wants to see them again. Man, this guy is like, this makes you think of the Count of Monte Cristo. You know? I can't think of his name. Edmond Dantes. Plan the ultimate revenge over time. I've talked to him a few times. He always says he loves me and my sister, that he'll die for us. That it's just us who matter, and he's happy to have raised us. I believe he means it. He doesn't say anything about Mom, Uncle Matt, or our grandparents. Last I heard, our aunts have cut off Uncle Matt, and we're trying to contact Dad. So here I am, celebrating New Year's with a broken family, and all I feel is angry at myself. Just for my sake, my dad wasted 12 years of his life with a cheater. I don't care for anything else except supporting my dad. I want to know, how can I show him how I love him and I'm grateful and I will always have his back. He seems to believe everyone is selfish and just used him, and he's accepted that. I want him to get better. Please, how do I help my dad recover? Well, you are a good son because you care so much about your old man. And your dad has suffered all these years. And he did it. Now, I disagree with him staying in the marriage, and he's been miserable all this time, but what's done is done. In my opinion, the best thing you can do for your dad is to be there for him. Check in on him regularly. Get together. He may, remember, everything's upside down, and I'm sure he's going through a roller coaster of emotions. You need to try to get together with your dad, even if he doesn't want to get together and see you, and show him that through your actions that you support him and love him and don't judge him and help him rebuild his life together. And you can't blame him. End of freaking story. And then you need to talk to your sister to make sure she understands where he's coming. Because you said your sister left because you just can't be around your mom because your mom's a fucking mess and it's making her crazy. Or maybe your sister's pissed at your mom. Your sister needs to understand this as well. And that's that. But that's all you can do is just be there for him and let him know this repeatedly, and that's that. And respect his decision. You may not like that, you may understand why he has nothing to do with your mom, but you may not like that he wants nothing to do with your grandparents. That's his choice. He's a grown-ass fucking man. That's the best way you can show your love and support for him. And I don't blame him at all. At all. It's all the people that he thought he could trust all turned against him in some form or another. I mean, that's devastating. It's amazing he's made it this long and didn't end his own life, which some people do. And if he's in his 40s now, he's got plenty of life to live. A man's still in his prime in his 40s, while a woman, no. She can look good for her 40s, but she's only going to get guys that are much older or guys that want to nail a cougar. That's about it. She's not going to get guys her age, while your dad can get gals in their 40s, 30s, 20s, 50s, if it's what he wants. And he can do what he wants to do. So that's what I think. Now I'm going to read a few comments here real quick. Everybody in the comment section is supporting the dad, and which is cool. One guy says here, she didn't just cheat with a rando or coworker, it was his brother. Your dad has a lot of healing to do. This man was betrayed by his whole family. All he has is his kid. Stay close to him, hugs and praises for being your dad. I would have stayed. Another guy says, as someone at your dad's age, not in his situation, I would think he's had plenty of time to process this and finalize his decision. My advice would be to stay close with him, support his new life, and not harp on the broken marriage he clearly wants to put behind him. And one more, this guy says, here's the thing, as a dad and as a man, there's nothing you can do for him. The best thing you can do for him is just be there for him. Check up on him, ask him and try to get him into therapy. It doesn't always work, but at least it helps navigate brain fog. Yeah, maybe the therapy may help him. He's been through a lot. He's coped with being miserable for years. I went through something similar, but I couldn't tough it out that long. Just know the amount of patience and fortitude he's had to keep peace all this time is extreme. Love that man and be there for him. He's a good dude. He's a great dude. He made a mistake. We all make mistakes, even me. But he's getting a second chance, and I wish him the best. The best thing that the mother can do for him to show how sorry she is give him the most civil, amicable divorce. But now that the kids are adults, he doesn't have to pay child support. But depending on where they live, there could be, she gets the house and the alimony and all that bullshit. But probably to him, it's worth it. It's worth the freedom. So I wish this guy the best. So there you go, guys. Talk about a well planned out thing right there. And it sounded like it was Christmas Day.